Welcome, welcome, family. Tonight, I want to get into the fake news and the difference between not having someone calling out fake news this year and where last year we heard a lot more about fake news and just what fake news is and what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to get into that. So here we go. First, let me share this movie with you guys. Well, I'll probably show that to the end because people still haven't came in yet. And I feel like this is a really good movie, an important movie to catch because there's a lot of information in this movie. A lot of information and a lot of things that we knew. We knew already, right? So before I go over that movie, I'll go over it later, okay? But right now, we're going to get into some things that are going on. And let me look at my history here so I can pull up some stuff. No, that was just the name. Okay, here we go. First, I want to talk about...
He will stand with civil rights leaders.
Hold on. We know that there's a lot going on in Cuba. We know there's a lot going on in South Africa. And we know the deal in Haiti. Now, when I tell you that our good old Democrats are this democracy that is being pushed, anything that has been pushed in this society, chance, if they are pushing it, it's not healthy. It's not good. Even the, I'm trying to figure out how do I want to say this, because see, I have a mind of my own, and having a mind, let me explain, being able to think for self against all the rest, but knowing that there's others and there's beings out there that think like me, that know, well, don't even have to think like me, but know for a fact that what I'm saying is the truth. When I say there's no such thing as intelligence in this society that we live in, and I'm going to explain myself a lot. I love it when it thunders outside. And it's thundering now. Hold on, family. So let me go ahead and explain myself what I mean by the lack of intelligence in this society. Okay? If there's no intelligence in this society, then that means that the things that we've been given are unintelligible, are not beneficial, but brings us to an end, basically, and a stagnant end, where we're just moving towards the end and not really being progressive, or being able to really progress, is what I'm trying to say. It's not a real progression. It's a stagnated progression. It's where we're stuck in a spot for the benefits of someone else. And it doesn't progress us, and it doesn't really progress them, because, like I said, there's no intelligence in the situation. I talked about the language of English and how it's coded against us. But it's coded, but don't think it's coded in only a bad way. It can go a good way. You know, it can be a good spell or a bad spell. You know. So what makes this society unintelligent is the fact that number one, it hides its hand of deceit and trying to defeat a people. And everything's always, like I said, everything's deceit, built upon deceit, deceiving. So all the way to the language that we speak, that we were forced to speak, to the education system, we were made to think was beneficial for us, but really it's beneficial for those who took all the money, took majority of the land. It's beneficial for them because we can become the plantation workers. So, you know, I don't see anything intelligent in people who do things like that. I don't see anything intelligent in a society that can't see themselves, or are people that will, you know, just don't question anything. They just go for it and support it 100%. When the history in itself, it doesn't work for it. It doesn't work for that at all. You know, so but people go on with the game. They just roll with the game, regardless of this but they'd be upset at Germany when they did what they did to a group of people who were practically trying to take over Germany in a way, and being unjust to a lot of the local people there, benefiting them financially. The same thing that we see here in America. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a pattern. Don't think that it doesn't go on anywhere else what they do to us in America. I'm about to show you where the same unintelligent behavior continues on. And it's a pattern. It's a where they get you to think that somehow they got us thinking this is the greatest country to be in, for one thing, which is a big lie. It's not the greatest country to be in. But what country is great right now out of the 7 countries we know of? Being that this is spread it all over the place. The same behavior, the same treatment that was given to us here is been exercised in other places. It's been exercised in other places. And it's part of this divide and conquer. That's one way they deal with things, situations. There's definitely divide and conquer with us. They did that. And then the other way is programming the mind, and definitely religion. Definitely religion. We can look all over the world and see how religion has taken over the people. The news, like I said, fake news, lies, getting you to see your reality from the way they want you to see your reality. Control. And this behavior, I remind you, there's nothing intelligent about this behavior. Matter of fact, there's nothing intelligent about what we've been given. You see, I can see if we had justice for all. Now, that's something that is very intelligent. Justice across the board. But to think that, and to have people think at a low level, that like the society now, people are thinking at a low level. If you ain't got people thinking at a high level, there's no intelligence in the system. There's no intelligence in the system. Intelligence is when you have people thinking in a high level, you got people moving, progressing, growing. There's no deceit, no deceiving. There's no stabbing people in the back. There's no the society reflects the minds of those who shape it. And in this country, everybody knows it's majority Caucasian people shape this country, right? But because they control this country. So they shape the minds with their power, their power of the dollar, their power of being able to have these corporations, to have these news industries, to be able to um, influence people's thinking, not just news, but the entertainment. And our people are just the people on the plantation. It's doing the work. And a lot of times it gets us to be, we're unintelligent because we follow an intelligent society. You can't be intelligent and think it's okay to treat a people in the way they treated people who built this country. And their lives were taken, their humanity was taken, and they were given nothing. But yet you move along like it's okay. And you move along as if you're perfection. They move along like they're perfection. But it's not perfection. It's not perfection. The English language is not a language. It's not a perfect language. It's not a language. It's not the best language. It's a lazy language. It's a weak language. And it, like I said, it can be, you can make good spells and bad spells. But there's magic there because it was taken from, born from another language, an ancient language. So the guy lied about where the English language he got it from. He tried to make up a story, say that he made up a story and said that when he knows good and well what he did, this was his true situation. He went and he looked at a tribe, examined the tribe that was speaking the language, but not the exact language because, you know, it's been tweaked and changed. So this tribe, he tried to say were angels or something. But, you know, he sat there and he, like all the Europeans that traveled and they examined, they looking through the bushes he looked through the bushes at these people, examined them, heard what they were saying, and went back with the information and started creating his own thing from that. But he would have you believe, I want to pull up his information because it's a trip. Okay, where's he at? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Now they're making it hard. I usually could pull them right up. No problem. I'll pull him right up. Now he's not coming up. So, oh no, that's not coming. I want to see what he said about you got. I'm gonna have to look it up like this because he said angels or something came to him. Let's see. Mm. Okay. It originated from Anglo-Frisian dialects brought to Britain the mid-5th to 7th centuries AD by Anglo-Saxon settlers with the end of Roman rule in 410 AD. Latin ceased to, but a lot of our words are coming from Latin and French, and I think even Italian, but all of that, but all of that derives from African languages, anyways. So they pretty much got it from African tribes, this language, but they changed it. And they changed the because a lot of the African languages, the Caucasian couldn't at the time talk that way. So they kind of tweaked it to where they could speak. And that's why we have so many rules in the language. It's for their mind level. The rules are for their mind level in this language. And to keep our mind level at where we have to have rules to understand anything. It's like a trap because You don't need all the rules in the language, in any language. Though, and in a lot of foreign languages have to change as well. They, a lot of them had to change in ways, like a little bit, just so the European can um, grasp them. So, and then you notice that a lot of them do change eventually. You have to cater in a way. You have to cater. So that's what we deal with. That's what we're dealing with. A language that pulls us down and makes us have to. So our minds get used to having these rules, and we, instead of trying to exercise our minds and to grow our minds as far as language is concerned, because language is supposed to change, but for the better, not for the less. And what I mean by the less is where you just stagnant. You want us to stay stagnant and just constantly learn the same rules over and over again, instead of exploring and changing and rearranging things and being different. But we're a different people now. We done lost our own tongues, even though our tongues are right in front of us, because all these languages mixed up. They done put a little bit of this and a little bit of that in different places. So, especially in English language. So that's just how I feel about the language that we speak. That it's not like, if we wanted to do something different, you really couldn't, because the Caucasians they didn't set up the standards basically and said the standards are this. So a lot of people go with that instead of having their own minds and their own thinking. They utilize the system, an intelligent system that has made itself seem intelligent to me. So that's my opinion about it. And until we recognize these little these little things, then how can we really see the big things that are happening around us and deal with those accordingly? Okay. Like I said, they do the same thing that happens to us in America. When they want to do to other places, it happens to other places. So Let me share my screen and share. You see, Psaki, Jean Psaki, she's the press, the person that does the press briefings for Joe Biden, okay? So let's listen to a little bit of it today, and just a little bit of it. I'm gonna try to, let me share this. I'm not gonna play it straight through, I don't think. Let me see.
Fix it.
Okay, there you go. Okay, here we go. Let me get this screen for you guys. Because they get us through the language to be confused, conflicted, and not know what's going on. Just as they are confused and conflicted if we didn't play by the rules in writing the language, they can't make out where we're coming from. And a lot of times, you know, in their talks, our people let a lot of things go by their heads. And that's why people were able to, they were able to get a lot of our people to vote for Joe Biden. But this is a very dangerous man. But our people ain't out talking about that. Or the news ain't talking about it. And so here we go.
Afternoon, but she agreed to come say a quick hello to all of you first. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Olivia.
Hi. First, I want to say I am beyond honored and humbled to be here today to help spread the message about the importance of youth vaccination. I'm in awe of the work President Biden and Dr. Fauci have done and was happy to help lend my support to this important initiative. It's important to have conversations with friends and family members, encouraging all communities to get vaccinated and actually get to a vaccination site, which you can do more easily than ever before, given how many sites we have and how easy it is to find them at vaccines.gov. Thank you, Jen, for having me today, and thank you all for helping share this important message. It's so appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Olivia, so much for joining us. Good luck with your great day. Okay, a couple of other items, a little less exciting, also very important for all of you. This afternoon, the president will be joined by a bipartisan group of governors and mayors from around the country, representing communities from Vermont to Arizona.
You notice how, okay, that girl, she was someone, I think she's a YouTuber. Let me see, let me do my research. But I heard them say she did a video, but I don't know whether it was on YouTube. But she did a video in support of Cohen. And support of the youth getting jabbed. And this was very, very, very great for them. They really appreciated her doing that. I wonder how many people out there question what's these people's problem, and why are they telling us and pushing But why are they telling us about our health? Why are they pushing so badly about our health? Why are they pushing so badly about this? Why, when our health is fine, why have they created this world for the moment? This place, and played on the people's minds. Because let me go back in time with you guys for a second. Let me see if I can find this, pull up this video. And hopefully, in me pulling up this video and playing it. Okay. So I'm going to take us back. Okay. I'm going to take us back to the Dark Ages when we didn't know anything. Okay, family? I'm going to take us back. Oh, you know what they told me? They told me that this video now might be offensive to some people. So if I go back to the past, and they gave me a little note, they said that it might be offensive to some people. I don't know how it's going to be offensive to some people, because this was a time way, not too far away, when we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was what and who was what. But imagery is very important to the minds of the people. And fear can be stroked or placed within the people. That fear that messes with the mind. I've been there. I've been there in my life, my youth life, where fear struck me so badly, it started playing on my imagination, my mind. And I started thinking things. And the mind is powerful. And I keep telling you guys that there are people out here doing our witchcraft, but they're doing it for the bad of the people, not for the good of the people. So spells have been cast. When was this? January the 24th, 2020. January the 24th, 2020. Are you ready for me to show this? Because I can be in trouble. But, you know, then again, I could not be. But we'll see. And I'll come back to Miss Jen here in a second. Hey, that guy from Texas, welcome. I'll get back with Miss Jen here in a second. The games that people play. The games that people play. Yep, YouTube warned me about this video, but I'm going to try and attempt to play it. They said it might be offensive to some of y'all out there. I don't know why. I really don't, because this was just the beginning of something that was creeping up on us, and that somehow I'm supposed to believe. But you know, me and my detective Okay, hold on, let me fix it here. But hold on. Don't drag it. Let me fix it because it's not showing the whole thing here. They said it might be offensive today, but yesterday it was playing on YouTube 24. All it wanted to play on the news, and I guess what they used it for wasn't needed any longer. So now it might be offensive. They didn't think it was offensive at the time, but they were using it. Okay, you got the message, right?
然后啊，前面是男的的。
可能这现在武汉市是个么情况？
So, chaos. Let me change it. Oh, now you got something else. Oh man, I never even met them. I never even met them. I haven't met them yet. So I don't know who that is right there. And I don't know the other first person. So if I don't know the first person, I sure don't know that second person that's come along. I do not know them. And I do not wish to know them. No. I certainly do not wish to know that. DV. I don't want to know DV. Like I didn't want to know CV. I didn't want to know CC. And I don't want to know David. So it's crazy that this is all an intelligent country can come up with. Is this all that such an intelligent country we live in? It's full of intelligent, bright, wonderful people. Glorious, bright country we live in. Where the minds are just endlessly moving forward. We created a heaven here on earth. Oh my goodness. Nobody is really disenfranchised. No crimes. But somehow, yeah, they're nothing stupid. You're right. They're nothing stupid. They're beyond, it's just, I don't know a word to say it, because any word I say it could be a curse or it can be a blessing. It could be a greatness for them, or it can be, I don't even know what words to put into it. But you thought that Jen was, you thought she was Kamala? She kind of does look like her, don't she? Well, let's get back to Jen. Let's get back to Jen, because all I hear is, I hear a lot of craziness coming up from this woman. But
discuss the bipartisan infrastructure framework and his Build Back Better agenda. The framework has received support from across the political spectrum, including bipartisan of 360 from all 50 states and a letter organized conference of mayors, the bipartisan leadership of the National Governors Association, and a coalition leading business and labor groups. During the meeting, the president will underscore the broad
poor Saki, poor Miss Saki. Do you know what her name means? Her name means dog. It means canine. Poor Saki. And she definitely, you know, they're from Greece. Her grandfather came from Greece. Um, you know, that's what they say. That's what they say. Let's finish listening.
Bipartisan public support for generational investments in our economy and middle class that will create millions of jobs and help us outcompete the rest of the world in the 21st century. He'll also note some of the areas where Democrats and Republicans were able to come together in the bipartisan infrastructure framework, including money to remove lead pipes, expand universal access to high-speed internet, boost transit options, and rebuild roads and bridges. He'll also thank the leaders for their work on a range of important issues across the country and reiterate his commitment to being a partner to them moving forward.
Does it sound like
Today, this is a separate announcement. We'll begin shipping 1.5 million doses of Moderna to Sri Lanka, our first doses to this country. We'll be shipping more doses throughout the week, and as always, I will share updates with you as those are available.
Okay, they don't only have control of America, but now they're worried about people outside of America and what. So people, you know, all I've heard are all week talk about the countries that they're gonna take care of and why. Why? Can you answer that question for me, brother? Can you answer why these people want to take care of other countries and why? You know, what's their agenda? Ooh, what I dropped my pen. That guy for Texas. I need to get on this book thing. I need to start finishing it up. My favorite pen. And so if they upgrade to 6 grams, I'm never going to outside again. Why you say that? Why you say that? What is it? If you upgrade to 6, if they upgrade to 6 grams, 6G. Okay, you're talking about the 6G. Yeah. I'm still gonna go outside. Don't you know we are radiation? And that's why I don't get with the sister talking about radiation all the time. And you know, that's why I want to talk about the movie, but I'm gonna wait till some more people come in so everybody can look at this movie. It's free on YouTube and it's important. And I know the sister, she would love, you know, I think it would give more education to the sister about, because there's not like this movie. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Did I see any Black people in this movie? No Black people in this movie. But the whole point of it is very metaphysical. So I'm going to wait and talk about the movie last, but we're going to get into talking about these people and why they worried about other countries so badly. Let's finish listening to Jen Psaki.
Available. We announced this in our week ahead, but just to give you guys a little bit more context on the APEC meeting that the president will be participating in remotely on Friday. He will be participating in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC Leaders Virtual Retreat, where leaders will discuss the COVID-19 pandemic, supporting the global. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern of participation. Pacific region commitment, the United commitment to multilateral institutions. As the president's first engagement with many of the APEC leaders, particularly those in Southeast Asia, he will also emphasize the importance he places on the region, as well as his vision for free and open Indo-Pacific. And he'll provide an update on to serve as an arsenal of vaccines for the region and to support all those suffering from COVID. Finally, he'll also advance an economic agenda that promotes our shared prosperity, leverages the economic potential in the region, and builds inclusive and resilient economies. Last piece for all of you. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services announced that more than 2 million people have signed up for health coverage during the Biden-Harris administration's special enrollment period, which opened on February 15th. Americans have until August 15th to go to healthcare.gov, sign up for coverage, and take advantage of the lower premiums made possible by the American Rescue Plan. Today's announcement demonstrates the need to expand access to affordable healthcare, which is why the president is proposing to extend the Rescue Plan's premium subsidies and lower the cost of healthcare for Americans across the country. With that, Zeke.
Thanks, Jen. On the topic of youth vaccinations, Tennessee's former top vaccination official says the state to minors actually the White House can do to fill the gap there.
First of all, thank you to seeing the reporting of this issue. We're not going to comment specifically on a personnel step, but let me take this opportunity to say that Delta variant poses a threat to Americans of all ages. We continue to see young people hit COVID-19 vaccines.
On a different subject, we've seen the Taliban continue to make gains in Afghanistan, and so the administration announced earlier today about SAB visas. How large is the population of the universe of people who would qualify for these visas? And the White House believes that there's enough within the statutory cap right now in that program for all of them. Gangster has been in prison in Myanmar for months now. His family has raised considerable alarm about his health and situation, and just signs of potential COVID-19 exposure. He's not getting treatment there. Has the president been briefed on his condition, and what has the White House engagement been to try to get him free to return to the United States?
Well, first, we take the detainment of individuals, Americans, and journalists around the that's the next natural step in the process in moving his agenda forward. But as Senator Sanders said last night, this is the most significant piece of legislation passed since the Great Depression. I'm delighted to be a part of helping to put it together. We agree with that. What we've seen come out as the current framework is reflective of the president's priorities, both what was in his budget, what was in his American Families Plan, and also what were the components that were left out of the bipartisan agreement that was in the American Jobs Plan. We certainly recognize there are additional steps to come, as we said. That's why he's up on the Hill, and we feel this is working exactly as it should. President of the United States proposes a bold agenda, as he did back in March. Congress works out a path forward, works out an agreement on where things look. That's what's happening now. Now he's going to engage, he's going to advocate with members, he's going to advocate with the American people and communicate and sell the package about why it needs to move forward. So that's exactly what's happening.
Secondly, on Cuba, what is the status of the review of the Trump-era policy?
Sure. So I would say, Steve, that, and you and others who covered this certainly know that, first, I will confirm, of course, we're still reviewing our Cuba policy with an eye on its impact on the political and economic well-being of the Cuban people. Okay. The nature of the kinds of changes.
I want to look at let me see Trump's policy on Cuba, because I have no clue on that. What was Trump's policy on Cuba? Well, I hope they can tell me what his policies were, where they're talking about Trump emailed supporters in an official poll about Biden's Cuban policy, where both answers linked to his fundraising. Emailed supporters. Okay, let me see. Okay. So what was it saying? Okay. Okay. Okay, for one thing, I know that Trump, Trump, he pretty much stayed out of other countries and focused on America first. He let other countries deal with their own situations. You know, Cuba has their own. They have doctors, and they take what they do is they take a lot of like Black Americans, and they allow them to go over and become doctors. Allow them to come over and get the education they need to become doctors, and that's a good thing. And I remind you what Libya did as well for people and their own people. Libya took care of their own people. But some reason everybody hates it when Black people get taken care of. And they start wanting to intervene in that. When other countries are taking care of their Black people, their Nubian people. Okay, it says former President Donald Trump emailed his supporters an official poll about Biden's Cuba policies where both yes and no answers linked to his fundraising page. Trump emailed supporters after Cubans staged mass protests on Sunday against the country's communist government. Now, when they say about these different governments, who are you going to believe? You going to believe a lying, stealing, killing group of people? Or are you going to believe, I mean, especially if they're getting involved with other people. They're getting involved with they're doing the same thing the colonizers do. They go over and meddle, colonists, stealers, robbers, killers, liars, cheaters. Just unintelligent stuff. Just all unintelligent stuff. Yeah, the sister's there. Yeah. And you know, it's like they're comfortable if Black people have a place to progress, a place to not be stagnant anymore, a place to grow, a place to get out of the English language, a place to expand yourself and the mind beyond trying to cater to Caucasian and make their lives better. You're not thinking about that when you're in a place like when you were in Libya. But Libya to Hillary Clinton was not a good place. Now, Libya to Hillary Clinton is a great place. You see, the thing about them is they cannot stand you not being in a weak place. They can control you. And that's the same thing here in America. The same exact thing with us Nubian people here. We're going through the same thing, no different. It's just on a greater scale. So we should be able to see that and recognize that. But can we? No. We see differently, but it's the same thing. It's the same, just in different places. They give us charity over here too. They tell us what we need, and they will put people out and do fake protesting. They would hire people, our own, against us.
That were made by the previous administration, like redesignating Cuba as a state sponsor of terror, carry significant statutory restrictions. We've been running a thorough policy process on these and other issues with support for democracy and human rights, always at the core of our work. Now, there's no question that the protests over the weekend and the events of the last several days are significant events. And it was the largest protest we've seen in Cuba in a long time. That will obviously have an impact on how we proceed. So we will see how things develop in the days ahead and develop our policy responses accordingly. We don't want to do it as one-offs. We want to look at it as we have been with a comprehensive approach in mind.
Go ahead. Thanks, Jen. Are there must-haves? What are the must-haves for the president in this reconciliation package?
Well, I'm not going to negotiate further from here or at all from here. Obviously, as I just noted, Senator Sanders, the chairman of the Budget Committee, noted the historic nature of this package that has been agreed to by the Budget Committee. We agree with that. This package currently represents and is aligned with the president's priorities, including what was been outlined in his budget, which is quite public, out in a blueprint, as well as the American Families Plan, which includes key components of investing in our workforce, in childcare, and in the next generation. We also understand that this is a process. There are steps to go. He's going to continue to advocate. He's going to continue to engage with members just as he is today. And we know that there can be changes as things move forward. But it is certainly aligned with the priorities he's outlined publicly.
Senator Padilla is saying that it's his understanding, I want to get this right, and expectation that a pathway to citizenship would be included in this package. He says it could be just a matter of months if all the necessary steps are taken. Is that a correct assessment from this White House's point of view?
Well, again, we have said in the past that we certainly want to see an immigration bill passed through Congress. There are a range of mechanisms to do that. We will let Congress determine how they want to move that forward. And certainly there are a number of advocates in terms of people who are elected officials who support that as well. But in terms of additional contents of what would be in the package, I would refer you to the Senate.
But is this one of those mechanisms that the White House would support?
Sure. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Does the White House have a reaction to the charges that were filed against Iranian nationals, including Iranian intelligence officials for a plot to kidnap an activist on U.S. soil?
Sure. First off, this is a law enforcement matter, of course, hence the announcement came out of there, and we're not going to weigh in on the specific allegations in the indictment. Overall, though, we categorically condemn Iran's dangerous and despicable reported plot to kidnap a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil. We will forcefully defend U.S. citizens and U.S. interests. That includes law enforcement actions like the one announced yesterday, as well as the actions the president has taken to defend U.S. forces in the region from Iranian-backed militant groups. It also includes our diplomatic effort to constrain Iran's nuclear program, one of our most important and urgent actions. But it's actions to attempt to silence the voices of those peacefully working to address the situation both inside of Iran and outside of Iran that are appalling. We'll continue to speak out against that, and obviously law enforcement authorities will take appropriate steps.
And what kind of impact, if any, will this have on Iranian nuclear talks?
Well, it still remains, we have never assessed Iran to be a good actor in the world, not just by this plot.
But America's not a good actor either. See, that's the whole thing. Yeah, they call other countries dangerous. And that's what I don't get. They done made it look like their deeds of enslaving people was actually a good deed. Enslaving people, raping people, killing people, stealing people, and still disenfranchising those very same people. But yet the pot calling the kettle pot. When, I don't know. Yeah, you see, that's what they wanted. They wanted slavery to be there. In fact, they want us all in chains. They want the whole Africa to be enslaved. You can tell by how the Asians go over and they treat Africans there in their own country. How the South Africans allow themselves to be put in the ghettos and allowed the white people to own the majority of their land, or stole the majority of their land. And it's unintelligent for people to think that this is civilization. Any white person can come up and explain to me how this is civilization and how is this world peace. And I hear some Beckies talk about they want world peace. When world peace can only be achieved if there's no Beckies here. No Beckies and Brads on the earth. Because I'm sorry to tell them, the truth is, it's like cancer in the body. And that leads me to think that that's why I said when I examined the Guidestones in Atlanta, in Georgia, the Georgia Guidestones. I didn't get that they were built by human hands. I don't get that. It's got to be something that knows more than the Neanderthal brain can conceive. Because all the Neanderthal have it is we kill off people. It's the people that they got killed off. They don't get the other stuff. And the other stuff is it's not written to us, it's written, it's not about what man is going to do. It's about what this Mother Nature is going to do. And hey, 1SP, it's not about it's not about what they're going to do, because they want us to think they have power and some kind of control. See, our fault is we look at them and admire them. Our fault and our problems is that we don't look within ourselves, because I think our ancestors put that out there. I think the Star family put the Guidestones out there because they did, or they had them put out there. They did speak to us before and mentioned what they wanted to see, which is us. All this stuff comes from us anyways. If you hear me hollering about, I want a certain sect of beings off the earth because it's cancerous, where's that come from? That comes from being able to see exactly what let me see if I can find it. Find this thing here. And I'll share it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But oh well. Let me get this thing here. Hold on. Get us to see how unhealthy for us this is. We may love it. We may love it. And that's the thing. We love eating this. We love dealing with it. We love this right here. White bread, right? White bread. But whiteness is not good for you, your health. This stuff right here can kill you. White bread. And that's not hate speech. They got to know that I'm telling the truth. Because, I mean, tell me otherwise when it didn't kill me. Or people that look like me, my ancestors. When did this not kill us? This is probably more dangerous than any virus, anything on the planet. Whiteness. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. He said, is this the thing on? Oh, yes. Okay. But if anybody wants to come up, let me copy this. Because I know sometimes people might want to talk about something. I'm sharing my link. You can come up and chat. Feel free to come up and chat. And you can imagine this bread is probably sweet. It's probably got sugar in it. And that's not good for us. That white sugar. You know, whiteness kills. It does. It really does. And a lot of times we can't see what is unhealthy for us. But believe me, when those Guidestones talk about getting people off the earth, they're not talking about us because we're connected to the earth. Remember, we're connected to the stars. We're connected to everything. Matter of fact, the white man has to call himself a Mason. And you have to wonder why. Why? Why is his need to be a woman? It's just a hidden way of saying he's a woman. A black woman. Because he wants to be in control. He wants to be in her position. He thinks the secrets to her makes him her. So he wants to play her, putting himself in the position of God and in control of every living creature on the planet. And he wants you to be his son, and he's got you wanting to be him. He's got a lot of black men wanting to be him. And then a lot of black women wanting to be white women. Because they have falsely made a diagram of the white man on top, the white woman under him, the black man on top, and the black woman on the bottom. When the black woman's over top of everything. She's on top of everything. And she does not have any, if she knew this, she would not have no enmity, she wouldn't have no anger, she wouldn't have nothing. That is fed into her to be that way. She eats too much white bread with sugar. white sugar. It's unhealthy for us. It messes with the mind. We can't think clear. And that's another way they get us. Not just by the way we speak and the way we hear and the way we read, but they got us pulling our bodies down to a lower level. One SP said they robbed the tombs of kings and queens, and the naked bodies of our royal forefathers are put on display in their museums to go to England, go to France, go to Italy, go to Greece. That's our ancestors. Exactly. Exactly. The whole planet is Africa. The whole planet is Africa. The whole planet is Ethiopia. The whole planet is ours. So let me get into this real quick. I wanted to play, let me play another video here. You know, it's not just there, it's Haiti. It's Haiti. It's our people everywhere. They, same thing. The same thing in Africa. South Africa. You know, you disagree with them, off with your hair. Yeah, what's intelligent about that? You know, we're an intelligent people. We're the only intelligent people on this planet. Unfortunately, anybody want to challenge me on that? I got how I know this. We're not hanging people. We never hung people. We never burnt people. We never fed you white bread. We never fed you white foods. We never forced a people into slavery. Never. We never warred against anybody. We never took over countries. We don't have banks where we are disenfranchising Caucasians. We don't have industries where we're disenfranchising Caucasians or Asians. We don't go and mess with other people's hair products and try to make money from it. We don't have a Hollywood that we use to program people's minds. We didn't take witchcraft and steal it and use it for our own nefarious needs against people. We don't throw waste in the water. We don't find it necessary to destroy the earth so we can live our selfish lives. And we never, ever looked at skin color and decided to call it what we do against others' racism to disenfranchise them. We never came up with nefarious ideas, diabolical ideas. We never needed to take their bodies and use them in tests to study medicine. We never had a crazy home where we played and messed around with with people with mental problems' minds. We never gave them electro brain surgery. We didn't never torture people. We don't have that. We don't have that. We never tried to white out people. We never tried to black people, make people black. We never tried to do that. We have no need to do that. But somehow we're supposed to say that whiteness is intelligent. And they came up with democracy. They came up with the dollar. They came up with all these things, and we call it great. It's supposed to be great, but it's not. It's not intelligent. There's nothing intelligent about it to me. The dollar, it's not intelligent to place people under a controlled system. But they would say that they're very highly intelligent and that we should follow them and give them credence, contrary to what we see from their sneakiness and their cunningness and their, yeah, the dollar is fake money, but we're addicted to it. They get people addicted to drugs and money. So and yet we can't see that cancer cells. What color is cancer cells? I think cancer cells are white, aren't they? I'm trying to find cancer cells. Is that a cancer cell? T cells attacking a cancer cell. Okay, that's a cancer cell here. Let me view the image. The red cells are attacking this white looking cell. Okay, that's T cells attacking this cell here. Let me show you. Let me go back here. Oops, hold on. I think it's this one here. Okay, can y'all see that? Hold on, let me pull this back down. Oops, I didn't put another one up. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I didn't confuse myself. Okay. Can y'all see that? That's a cancer cell been attacked by T cells. These little red cells are T cells. But we don't see, in reality, we don't see us trying to attack the T cell that's trying to, I mean, we don't see ourselves as T cells trying to to demolish that cancer cell. We don't do that. But too often you see the cancer cells, they'll gang up on us and take us out. Take us right out. But in nature, you see the T cells trying to take care of the body, trying to save the body. And they all got together and they attacking this cancer cell. When it's in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing that it's not even supposed to be doing, which is trying to take over, colonize the body and take that person right out. See, no, we're not cannibalistic at all. We have no reason for that. It wasn't until this entity showed up on the planet that we began to see the animal ways being exchanged, or all the craziness happening. But I think it's for a short time. I think it's been a short time. We feel like it's been forever. But I know that it's going to eventually come to an end. And I'm going to share this movie. We are not cannibalistic, and we are never cannibals. They introduced humanity to all these viruses because they went against the universe and ate human flesh. Exactly. Today, that's the problem. They still eat humans. They still eat humans. Okay. They still eating humans. Yes, fresh fruit and vegetables do attack. Yeah, we can attack almost every disease. You know, one thing, the disease that is in a Caucasian's body does not affect our body the same way. It does not affect our bodies as bad as it will a Caucasian person. You would never see a Black person have these problems as bad as you would never see a picture of a Black person with this problem this bad. And I didn't know that a cat can catch it too, herpes. But we know where it comes from, right? We know what this disease comes from. But let me go back here. But I'm about to share this with you guys real quick. You would never see this outcome, but our bodies are different. We're totally different. We don't have the same issues they do with viruses, infections, diseases. And I think they kind of get bothered by that. I think they really bothered that we don't have, that our bodies are so strong that we don't have the same. We got Black people that are living with HIV, where the whites, they were dying as soon as they were getting sick real quick in the 80s when it first came out. They were dying left and right. And we would never hear about it. We would never hear about it. But let me show you something. Look at this. You don't see a Black person on here. We don't have these nasty things. We don't have these nasty things happen to us the same way they do. We don't have these nasty things like that. And then, look, you can tell where it comes from because, look, what is this cat getting it? Animals get it. So it comes from the animals. See, we don't get these things. We don't have these problems. That's some nasty stuff. You ain't see one black person. You don't see no black people. We don't have those problems. Mm-mm. We don't. We got to appreciate, we got to learn more about ourselves and love ourselves. Let me show you some, what else was I going to say? We don't have these problems. I don't know if they're going to show me any pictures, but we're going to try to see. Let me look here. But we know where all these diseases come from. And I'm going to show you on this one. Hold on. It tells us where it comes from and why most of our people just got to be careful, got to love themselves and stop messing around out here, because you know where it comes from. Mommy. See? Okay. You see? I know y'all get the picture. Mommy. See, we wouldn't have had none of these diseases and stuff. And they know this. That's what makes it unintelligible and unintelligent of a society to take advantage of us, is to understand that sicknesses, we would get sick from interacting with them. It would bring down our immune system, eating the foods that they eat, doing the things that they do, and living the way that they live. So let me go ahead and share this movie so I can get on out of here. But we know what the deal is. I wasn't born yesterday, although I was born in 1974. But I wasn't born yesterday. So this is a really great movie, guys. Check it out. Even though it's all white people in it, not one black person. But it's very educational and it's very telling. Okay, let me see if I can find the movie. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share the screen with you guys on this movie. This is a very good movie. Here, let me see if I can. I'm going to try to go back to the. Let me see if I can go back to the beginning of it. Okay. It's called The Knowing. Okay, you can see the thing up here. You can see it better. Have any of you seen this? It came out in 2019, last year. Mommy. Uh-huh. Hold on. Okay, baby. And this is a very great movie. I'm not going to tell you much about it, but you can find it here on YouTube, and it's free. And it's very engaging, very good. But I'm going to talk about, let me talk about the storyline here. Guys, let me talk about that. So it's a movie with Nicolas Cage, National Treasure, stars in his Edge of Your Seat sci-fi thriller as John Kostler, a professor who deciphers a coded message with terrifying accurate predictions about every major world disaster, looking to protect his family and prevent future calamities. He enlists the reluctant help of Diana Wayland, Rose Byrne, daughter of the now deceased author of the prophecies. His quest to understand the message and his own family's involvement in them becomes a heart-pounding race against time as he faces the ultimate disaster. So this is a very, very good movie. And do go out there. Yes, true. We should not be eating the same food as them. Our chemistry is totally different. But somehow we think procreating with them is a great thing. But you will see. You will see. They drink milk. Not I. I drink almond milk now. And I love almond milk. We should not, because most of us are lactose intolerant, and we should not, because it feeds viruses. It weakens our immune system. That's why in the wintertime you get all that mucus from eating chicken, from eating meat. Any kind of meats will give you mucus. And also the milk is big mucus. Eggs, mucus. All of that. All of that. So if you want to get back at the man and the woman, you know what to do. Take care of yourself. Carve out your own world. Rethink life. Don't think like they think. Don't be like they think. Be in opposition. And don't believe or giving them any kind of credence into what they want to say. Because nothing's built upon intelligence. Everything's built upon destruction. If it's destruction, do you call that an intelligence? I call something that flourishes. What I call intelligence is if I see you have a garden And that garden is healthy. And I see that you did that by yourself with your own hands. You take care of that. Regardless of all the obstacles, you got luscious, you got life that is growing healthy from the ground. To me, that's intelligent. That's very intelligent. But if you ain't got that, and you're putting stuff out here in the stores that are killing people, or weakening our immune system, and not doing anything for nature, and that's very unintelligent, because you being a cancer to the earth and hindering life from being in progression. So thank you, 1SP. Thank you, that guy from Texas. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. So with that said, and President George Jefferson, thank you. I almost forgot about you up here. So with that said, always remember, fellas, true love, real peace, and the higher self within the soul. Till next time, peace. Hey, peace, DOD. Oh, I forgot. The people in the clouds, thank you. Peace, and until next time.